In the wake of the flood, giant sections of road had washed away, and getting to the area in some cases was virtually impossible.
Getting people back to their homes and help to the region fell on the Department of Transportation. They needed to get traffic moving again and to clean up what had been lost.
WMUR's Andy Hirschberger explains how they accomplished these difficult tasks.
There was debris everywhere and roads that no longer existed. But to put Alstead back together, those responsible realized cleanup and construction would have to happen at the same time.
At the time, there was so much debris that were scattered them in the woods along with roads. There was pavement, there was concrete, there was house debris, there were cars.
Faced with an epic task, Dean Wilson came up with a simple and very effective approach to getting rid of what was essentially trash. They decided to recycle. Everything was separated. Tree stumps were ground into chips. The soil shaken from their roots went to local farms. More than 90 tons of tires were reused. Personal items were sent to the center of town in search of their owners.
So we're trying to do it as, be as sensitive as we can. A lot of these people, they've lost a lot of their belongings, and we're finding them, miles downstream.
6 miles of Route 123 was destroyed, and Mark Morin knew the pain people were going through.
One of the first things, when I got there, what I saw, and I felt that community was displaced. And it was very heartbreaking to see some of these people who had homes there, who wanted to go ahead and see what was left, wasn't safe.
They worked 18-hour days, 7 days a week for months, fixing bridges and building roads so residents could return as soon as possible. Morin painted the final lines on Route 123 on Christmas Eve. And while more permanent repairs would take years, it was hard work and innovative thinking that got people back to their homes where the healing could start.
The Alstead flood was the first in a string of historic weather events. 6 to 11 inches of rain fell in a 30-hour period.
And after the massive destruction, there was the threat and the fear of more rain. Chief Meteorologist Mike Haddad joins us now with a closer look at what happened.
2005 was a record-setting tropical season in the Atlantic. A total of 28 tropical storms and 15 hurricanes formed that year alone. It was the year of Hurricane Katrina, which devastated parts of the Gulf Coast in August, and to date is the most destructive hurricane ever to hit the United States. Now, less than 2 months later, the remnants of a weak tropical storm, Tammy, played a big role in the deadly flooding in southwest New Hampshire. Most of the tropical systems that have impacted New Hampshire have occurred in mid to late summer, but that was not the case October 8th and 9th of 2005. That's when the remnants of Tammy and another tropical-like system combined with a slowly moving front to create the catastrophic flooding and torrential rains over Alstead and surrounding towns. 6 to 11 inches of rain fell in about 30 hours. Now, that's the normal amount of rain we see spread out over 2 months. After occasional rain that Saturday, October 8th, heavy downpours started to fall Saturday night, with some rainfall rates topping 2 inches per hour. Here's a look at the sky review from Saturday night, showing the dark, stormy clouds and heavy tropical bands of rain with embedded thunderstorms. Now, the rain finally let up early that Sunday morning, the 9th, but not before resulting in extreme flash flooding. Flash flooding is different from general flooding in that it occurs rapidly and usually doesn't last all that long. Now, the highest rainfall totals from this storm came in from Keene with about 9.73 inches in that 2-day stretch. Mount Sunapee recording just under 7.5, and Newport just shy of 7 inches of rain. Warren Brook and Cold River actually registered river flows that exceeded a 100-year recurrence. Now, this catastrophic flood marked the beginning of a string of extreme weather events in New Hampshire over the next 8 years. 2 more devastating floods, a record-breaking tornado, also a major ice storm, and a fluke late October snowstorm, and more would follow. But of course, for those in southwest New Hampshire, nothing will compare to the 2005 flood.
Those 2 days of intense rain caused years of devastation, but those who rebuilt and never left say it made them stronger.
Coming up next, a look at preserving the history of this event.